What's going on, beautiful people? Today we are providing our weekly updates for the Washington state markets, primarily focusing on Seattle, Bellevue, and Tacoma. My name is George Rodriguez with eXp Realty, and allow me a few moments today to be your realtor. But as always, if you find any of this content helpful, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment down below, because sometimes I get a little bored, I want to click a little something. To give you the blueprint on how all of this is going to work and mash together, we're going to go over the monthly aspect in terms of what each of these markets are doing, followed by the yearly numbers so we can see how everything is forming on from the beginning of January 1st to where we are today on February 13th. And if you are one of the individuals that's going to find this video a few days later, you're going to be totally fine. This information is more than likely still going to apply to you, so don't worry, my friend. To get things started, let's just go ahead and take a look at it in terms of what's came on the market over this last week for people like yourself and myself. When I go to show clients properties, what is there to look at? What am I going to be able to look at in terms of what new stuff to come scrolling up in my feed? So in total, we have 988 brand new listings that have just come onto the market over this past week, followed by back on market at 207. And what that means when they say back on market, their contract that they previously had either expired or they canceled and went on back on the market with the same or a different agent. We had 550 price reductions, 116 listing price increases, 50 contingent offers. And what that means exactly is when contingent occurs, you have individuals that secure the buying of the property and in contingent of actually selling theirs. So they basically locked in a purchase, waiting for them to sell their property. Then we have a total of 50 contingent offers that were accepted. And what exactly that's going to mean is when an individual locks in a purchase in contingent of selling their own property or whatever contingency needs to happen or occur for that purchase to actually slide through to the finish line. And then we have 55 listings that have expired and 127 that have canceled. And what that means essentially is that everyone under the sun within the state of Washington that has a real estate license is calling them to get them to go put their property back on the market. So I imagine their phone is having a pretty good time right now. I used to do cold calling and Lord have mercy, but I like doing this better. Now let's get into the good stats that's actually going to make this actually seem pretty incredible. When it comes to listings pending, we have a total of 2,095 properties that have accepted an offer in just the last week. Then we have 1,005 properties that have actually been changed over from pending status to sold. Essentially, these are going to be January's numbers because it takes around 30 days to actually close from the moment you actually get your offer accepted, and then when you're able to cross the finish line to actually being a homeowner. So how do we digest all this? Well, individuals that have decided to purchase in Q4 of 2022 got a better deal in terms of what the sellers were actually willing to give up to individuals that were interested in purchasing their home.
Got that price exactly right. Where's my $500? Oh, he's $500.
But now when you look at it in today's real estate market of February 13th, sellers aren't as likely to actually give as much as they were willing to because rates have came down. But of course, we'll get into the interest rates a little further in the video. In terms of your competition, there's actually going to be multiple offers presented to good properties that have actually done the right things to present forward and have a quick sale. So you need to be mindful in terms of what you ask for because you do have the intentions of actually winning the property. If you need to guarantee you win, you might have to go over asking because that has been occurring in terms of certain properties that have decided to actually list properly. Now let's digest the Seattle market, how they've been doing in terms of February and overall year to date. When it does come to actual sold properties, that's not pending, just sold. They have a total of 167 properties at an average median sale price of $839,779. The most expensive property that was actually sold in Seattle in this month was essentially listed at $4.2 million. But their official sold price was at $4.1 million, so they did end up shaving $95,000 from the sale price, but they were just on the market for 18 days, so congrats to them and actually moving the property in a fast manner. Well, as we look at here, beautiful trees. You didn't know Washington was called the Evergreen State. Well, there you go, man. You got a bunch of green and a bunch of shades to work with there. So you're gonna have a ton of shade. That is not gonna be the problem. Personally, I'm not the biggest tree person. But we'll scroll through. You have your nice little entryway, a little couple chandeliers, maybe a little snazzy. Beautiful fireplace, and you actually come with 2 fireplaces. So if you get a little cold at night, hey, you're gonna be able to get right no matter what room you're in. But that backyard though, Lord. I can't golf, but I imagine is having that fresh greenway, it don't matter where I hit that thing, it's gonna be in the green. So if we do the most expensive, we have to do the least expensive. I'm not gonna have all the extra photos inside because when it comes to least expensive properties, a lot of times it's gonna be a cash sale, So here we have your least expensive property that was sold in Seattle. Potentially, in my opinion, I believe this would be a tear down or a quick renovation and throw it back on the market. You know how it is. And the original list price for this property was actually going to be at $450,000. They eventually ended up selling this property for $335,000 in cash. As we all have seen, we may see this property again later in life, or someone may be tearing it down. Who knows? Then in terms of the average days on market for the month of February, we're actually going to be at 37 days, which is actually lower than the year-to-date average. Year-to-date average days on market is going to be at 42 days. So we're actually trending down lower in terms of how long it takes you to actually sell a property or how long it takes you to actually purchase one. The total active properties for Seattle as a whole is going to be sitting at 956. So that gives you more than enough to go ahead and search on your casual leisure. Now let's go ahead and move into Bellevue. Now in terms of Bellevue, when it comes to the total listings that are active on the market, it's going to be sitting at 132 listings. And as we move to the sold properties, there's been a total of 22 properties that have been sold in the month of February, sitting at an average median sale price at close to $1.5 million. The most expensive property that was sold in Bellevue had an original list price at $3.8 million, and eventually they were able to sell at $3.15 million, and they were on the market for 124 days. So after 4 months of long and awaited patience, they are now free to go ahead and move on to the other side. So let's go ahead and take a couple photos to actually take into the majesticness of the property that has been sold in Bellevue for the highest amount for February. And would you look at that? Freaking beautiful. Look, if your agent is not getting you twilight photos on your listing, you might need to do something about that. As you walk into this thing, you're gonna say, Mama, I made it. Look at that, clear blue skies. Man, what a day to do photos, huh? And as we get to the kitchen, you have this beautiful island with, is that an onion? Beautiful backyard. That drone photo, that's one of your money shots, right? Can you just imagine yourself there in the summer, just sitting back there with your cognac, or if you don't drink, your water, your spritzer, or your 0% alcohol Heineken, you're just there enjoying life. Okay, move forward. Now let's move into the least expensive property that was sold in Bellevue. And let's not discount this property. This property was originally listed at $720,000, and they actually sold above asking price at $765,000. So kudos to them. An extra 40 G's. Bellevue's the place, man. Let me tell you, Bellevue's it. Now, the average days on market for a property in Bellevue for the month of February is sitting at 49 days in the month of February, and following the same trend as Seattle is actually a lower days on market for the month of February in comparison from a year to date. We have a 53-day mark that we're currently sitting at for a days on market with a median sell price averaged at close to 1.5 million. And the total units sold within Bellevue for this year is going to be sitting at 73. And lastly, let's go ahead and move on to Tacoma. You're gonna have 300 active listings for you to go ahead and search through at your leisure. Then in terms of listings sold, you have a total of 66 properties in the month of February that have been sold at a median sale price of $432,000. The most expensive property that has been sold in the month of February for Tacoma was originally listed at close to 1.3 million and was eventually sold at 1.1 million after 215 days on the market. You know they happy. So let's go ahead and look at these photos real quick, and so we can go ahead and see what occurred, what sold. So you're gonna be walking into your nice, beautiful 3-car garage. I'm curious to see what kind of vehicle that is. You know, it's hard to get a good entryway photo, so I had to go the reverse route. You know, walking through your front door, you're greeted with heavy furniture. The reason why I say that is this is all real wood. You can just tell that thing gonna be so heavy to move. And then you have a piano. You can knock out your John Legend, and you know how that goes. We're just ordinary people. You walk in your kitchen, you got a chandelier. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need them Swarovski crystals to really pop and get your day going. You're gonna have that opportunity here, but at least here in this one, you're not gonna have the onion on the table. That's gonna be your most expensive property sold within Tacoma. So here we have the least expensive sold property within Tacoma in the month of February. Personally, I think this is a candidate for a teardown. Reason being is that it was originally listed at $210,000, and I mean, that wasn't gonna happen. They eventually sold at $165,000, and the reason why I do believe it's going to be a teardown is because it's a 1-bed and a 0.75 bath sitting at 380 square foot. Personally, I would not want to put that back on the market. You're going to be dealing with the same issues before, because come on, man, you couldn't even you ain't got no space, dog. Come on, you're better off just using the land and building something majestic. You know what I mean? Come on, be creative. Next, we're going to move to the average days on market for Tacoma. Tacoma is going to be sitting at 54 days. The year-to-date numbers for the days on market is actually going to be lower. It's going to be sitting at 48 days on market. The total units sold is going to be sitting at 232 properties for the year, followed by the median sale price sitting at $476,000 averaged. So now let's go ahead and take a look at mortgage rates. They do change on a week-by-week basis, which is why you come here to get your information. Because, you know, why make a call when you can watch a video instead? Like and subscribe. So, I'm gonna pull up the mortgage rates and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at it together. I'll be on my screen, but it'll be on your screen as you watch this on YouTube. So the information that you're going to digest for conforming loans, you can basically just think of that as your conventional loan, which is that's what it is. Your 30-year fixed rate is gonna be sitting at 6.45%, and your 15-year is gonna be at 5.62, both up since last week. Then we're gonna go down to the government loans. Typically, if you're a first-time home buyer, just due to debt to income ratios, FHA is actually down this last week, so you're actually at 6.11% on your APR, followed by the VA at 6.12%. That's actually up 0.19% since last week. So those are going to be the main ones that really conform to what you need for your home buying experience. If any of this information was at all valuable to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be here next week providing you this information again so you can see how things are adjusting. My name is George Rodriguez, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be your realtor for today. And as always, y'all take care.